Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. Now I want to give an update to a story that I shared about an incident that took place in Detroit at the Eagle Coney Island on Joy Road and Dexter. Again, because I'm from the Metro Detroit area, these things are of interest to me. They're very, very close to home because that is where I spent a good portion of my life. I was, of course, born in St. Louis, Missouri, but most of my life was spent in the metropolitan Detroit area. So we are always hearing stories of things that are happening in Detroit, whether it's from family or friends or things that we see posted as well. And so with this story, this is a very sad story indeed, but the update is equally as sad because this young man, his name is Mickey Dane Douglas. He is the suspect in this case. They've basically said that they've identified him. Now, he is no stranger to the law. He's had other offenses in the past. And so that's what makes this even more sad, because the time that he already spent for other crimes, in which it's listed that he had one unarmed robbery offense, and then he had an armed robbery offense. And when I look at the amount of time, I'm not exactly sure that the time that they have listed here on this website would have had him still in prison at this time, but who knows what could have changed in his mind. But there's another story connected to this young man from an apparent visit that he had with the governor at that time. He was sounding like he wanted to do something different with his life. But again, actions speak louder than words. Those are just words, because he has gone on to do something much worse than what he went in for originally. His prior two offenses, in which one only carried 1 year, the other 5 years. The other, well, it basically says 1 to 15 years for the first one and 5 to 20 years for the second one. But his current status was as a parolee. So if he actually spent more time of those sentences, those people would still be alive. Those three young men and the one that he injured, well, he's in critical condition, so we don't know if he's going to survive at this point either. But anyway, I'm going to read some of the article that was posted on the Detroit News. It says that Mickey Douglas, 21 of Detroit, he was 21 at the time, who has served 3 of a 5-year sentence for armed robbery, also shook the governor's hand. And as he and O'Brien worked on the car, always having a love for cars since he was a kid, Douglas said he had learned how to rebuild transmissions and work on engines. And then he goes on to say, "It was just a big mistake that I made in my life, and I'm just trying to make a change now." He said make a chance now, but I think he meant make a change now. Douglas said, "When I get out of there, I don't have to struggle to try to get a job. I will be certified in engine repair." Douglas goes on to say that his meeting with the governor made him feel a little overwhelmed but excited. But he added he's trying to get us to learn more, to get us jobs when we get out, because it's kind of hard for felons and convicts. Okay, so as I read that, there are a couple of things that stood out to me. Here you have a young man who was overwhelmed and excited from meeting the governor. Okay, and he was excited also that the governor was apparently going to help him get a job, because it's hard for felons and convicts. So you were excited and overwhelmed to meet this man, but yet young men who look like you you were excited to pull the trigger. Some of you have already saw the video. Each time it's posted, it's taken down because it's not something that they like to show on social media, because it actually shows the moments at which these other people were taken down. Okay, but this young man is excited to meet the governor, but he seemed just as excited to pull the trigger. As you look into these cold, dead eyes, you have to say to yourself, what was so in your mind at that moment to where you felt the need to take the lives of others? Now, some are saying that there were some words said about his girl. Now, that part can't be confirmed at this moment. It's just being speculated from others that it was some words about his girl. So now, here's the deal. If that is the case, you won't be with your girl because you will be in prison, and someone else will be with her at some point because you won't get out for this. And so, was it worth it? I like for people to understand something. There are people who are literally occupied. You know what I mean when I say that? They walk around acting sane, but they are insane. And I know some of you aren't going to like this, because let me just say this. The black community is kind of strange to me. You have those who sit in protection. They feel protective over these types of criminals. They feel very protective over them. As if, how dare you say anything? You don't know what was in his heart. Oh, I can see what was in his heart. Murder. He killed 3 people, and another is in critical condition. But we are expected by those in the black community to just have this bleeding heart for people like this. Back in biblical times, he'd be taking a dirt nap, because that's how our people were dealt with in ancient times. But today, the way it is, we have all of this loyalty for people who will take your life in a heartbeat. This is very sad. When I saw this, the person who shared it with me initially, when they called, asked if I got the video, because I hadn't seen it yet. They had sent it to me, but they were still on the phone crying. When I saw it, the same thing for me, because you see these other people in the video, those are the last moments of their lives over something so ignorant. I don't care what feelings or emotions or things that are happening in your mind. I don't care what you are feeling. That is not a reason to take another person's life. That is selfish thinking, because someone upsets you because of words that they say. That's a whole lot of proof to me right there that there are demonic influences that have taken over people's minds. And they have to understand that at some point these same demonic spirits are going to take them out as well. That's just the way it works. This was very cold, and it was very calculated. As I saw him standing there, his hand in his pocket, he's looking at these gentlemen. I don't care if it was 2 minutes of calculated time or 10 minutes. He stood there and he calculated within his mind that he was going to do this. The demon spoke, he listened, he responded. Now others have lost their lives, and so has he, because he's going to prison. White It Out Part 5, family. The curse of generational curses. If you want to understand why these things are happening in the so-called black community, that is a good place to start. With that, I am out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.